It's 45 minutes before the open on Tuesday, September 14th. Hello, traders. Let's take a look at yesterday's pick, TWTR. I like that for a short. And here's why I liked it. It's below the 200-day moving average. There's your flagpole. There's your upward sloping trend line, breach to the downside. 100-day moving average violated. That is a bearish flag formation. Stock has dropped through the 200-day moving average, heavy volume. I think Twitter continues to go down. However, market first, market first, market first. Yesterday, the table was set for a nasty market decline. Let's take a look at what happened yesterday. We have this big gap reversal here. You can see this is where the market opened higher than the prior day's close, and then we had this massive reversal on Friday. So yesterday, the table was set for a really nasty drop because, again, the market gapped higher and it stripped away all of those gains. Had we taken out that low from Friday and closed right above the 50-day moving average, we would have had a very nasty sell-off with a lot of selling pressure. So here's what happened, and I'm going to put up the 10P indicator. By the way, lots of questions coming up on the 10P indicator. I will say that I'm going to do a video, perhaps even today, describing how to trade the 10P indicator. So here's what we see right out of the open yesterday. 3 long red candles. That tells me that this gap is in trouble and that they're probably going to try and test the low from Friday, which we did very, very easily. In yesterday's video, I described how with this type of ease, that's not a good sign for the rest of the day, and we were likely to see a bearish trend day. So we get this little bit of a bounce here, tails above body, and then the bottom falls out, and we do make a new low for the day. However, the rest of the day, the S&P just kind of chopped around and it held this support level right here. Upward sloping trend line right here. Did have a little bit of a bearish cross on 10P. So yes, that was probably a decent little entry point, but you can see some mixed candles in here and a very tentative decline. A couple of long green candles in here and a bullish cross late in the day. Those are signs that the market's going to bounce. I viewed this bounce late in the day as a victory for the bulls because they were on the ropes. If we would have taken out this low with ease, we had a chance for that momentum to really build throughout the day, especially ahead of quadruple witching when lots of institutions are rolling their positions. So that type of momentum can actually start to feed on itself. But you can see that the bleeding stopped and we actually had a nice rally off the low and we were able to finish above Friday's low. So I had mentioned in the chat room, I felt that the market would open higher today and we're off to the races. Now I'd be very careful in here because we have seen selling pressure. During the last week, we saw a lot of selling pressure. Is this going to be one of these dips? 1, 2, 3, gone. 1, 2, 3, gone. 1, 2, 3, gone. I don't think so. This selling pressure has been much more persistent, and I believe that that 50-day moving average and the 100-day moving average are in play. So this morning, got a nice little bid to the market. I believe that today will favor the upside. I would not be chasing stocks on the open, but I'm going to be looking for some bullish plays. So I'm going to run a very easy search. And here are the criteria that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be looking for a bullish trade signal on a daily basis. The reason for me going to a daily basis is that I want to have a longer term perspective. I want to make sure that the stock looks good on a daily chart, on a swing basis before I day trade it. Why? If you're planning on day trading it, what do you care what the longer term picture looks for? It gives me staying power, and I know that I have a good longer term tailwind at my back so that if I enter a day trade and it's not working out right away, maybe I get an adverse market move, I can stick with the position much more so than if I'm simply trading a bounce off of an oversold condition. So I want to make sure that I like the stock on a swing basis. If everything's really working out for me as well, and let's say that the market closes on its high of the day, I can take profits on the majority of the position and maybe hold a little bit overnight. I also have that flexibility if I like the stock on a swing trading basis. So I'm going to go down to the D1 and I'm going to look for stocks that are strong relative to the S&P 500. This is one of the key criteria that we use. Good option liquidity, also important. Heavy volume yesterday? Absolutely. I want to see stocks that are breaking through technical resistance on heavy volume. Stock greater than prior day's high. That would be excellent because I know that the market finished lower on the day. And if a stock is able to finish above its prior day's high, it was fairly strong and it had nice volume. So those are the criteria that I'm going to be using. These are the candidates that came up in the search. So let's find a good stock that we can latch onto today, knowing that the market should be able to have a pretty decent day. I'm going to go into the 5-minute chart on the market. I always like to have that in the background. The market is still closed. We're still about 40 minutes before the open. So let's take a look at some strong stocks here. By the way, I do still like TWTR Twitter on the short side. If you're looking for an intraday market play, I think Twitter's going to be a nice one, and it sets up well for a swing trade. AEHR. Yeah, look at that beautiful breakout right here. Compresses a little bit, bullish hammer, and then off to the races. This stock wants to go. Absolutely, I'd look at it for day trading. Look at the strength in this stock. Got a nice little bullish flag right here. There's your flagpole. Stock pulls back, consolidates, breakout. See you later. Through the 100-day moving average, ATER. We've been trading that one like mad in the chat room. Look at this chart. AUPH. Love it. There's your flagpole. There's your pullback. There's your breakout through the downward sloping trend line. See you later. New high. Looks fantastic. Big volume. Nice horizontal breakout here as well. AUPH. Yes, I love it. So here we've got a nice little compression in here, big volume, compression breakout. I can also put up the 10P, the 10 squeeze indicator. And there you can see, green dot means it was in a compression and it's been resolved to the upside. We can also search for these compression breakouts, CLNE. Yellow dot means it's in a compression, green means it's out of the compression, which by the way, we can search for stocks that are out of a compression and resolved to the bullish side or the bearish side on any time frame. We can also look for stocks that are in a compression. Why would I want to look for a stock that's in a compression? When I see those types of formations, and sometimes you can have a compression when the stock is actually grinding higher, but what you want to do is you want to set your alert lines above and below the compression so that the instant that breakout happens, you get a pop-up alert. So yes, compressions are a very effective pattern to trade. CLNE, I'm not as crazy about it because it's got overhead resistance at the 100-day moving average. CRK, look at the strength here and look at the volume. I'd be a little bit careful, but this is definitely one on a pullback that I would be looking for support to buy it to the upside. Cheap stock also, $8 stock. DOCN, this is nice. You've got your flagpole here. There's your bullish flag formation, breakout to the upside, new relative high. DOCN, very nice. FSLR, beautiful compression in here. You can see it. There's your green dot right there. Breakout through the horizontal resistance level. Heavy volume. Oh yeah, beautiful. So searching for these compressions is also very fruitful. You've got this HUN breakout right here above the 200-day and the 100-day moving average. I would have liked to have seen a green candle here, particularly since the market had a nice little bounce on the close. Let's see what it did into the close. Yes, it followed the market, so this stock actually looks pretty decent as well. You can see it's above the major moving averages. HUN is the symbol. This we know has some potential. Is this a meme stock? I don't even know what this is, but it's been compressing here. Looks like it wants to go. It's been sitting on that 100-day moving average. Yes, I think this is one that I would consider. Pretty choppy in here, tries to break out, falls back, tries to break out, falls back. So I'd be a little bit careful with this. You do have some pretty decent volume in here, but not crazy about that chart. PCG, this is nice. Downward sloping trend line, breach to the upside, big time compression here. Got a nice little breakout. 100-day moving average is in the way, so that is problematic for a day trade. Beautiful horizontal breakout, downward sloping trend line, breach to the upside above all the major moving averages, big volume, RRC, TROX. This is a takeover, possibly. Bullish flag. There's your downward sloping trend line above the 100-day moving average. I don't like that the stock backed off that much from the high, but one that could gain traction, especially since there seem to be some suitors. UNG. This is an ETF for natural gas. Yes, absolutely screaming. I think that's one that you can watch intraday for weakness. Also, URA, look at that move right in there. This could be getting overextended. You can see how the stock closed on its low of the day. Not too crazy about that one. Let's go back to the search here. Bullish trade signal on a daily basis, strength versus the S&P 500 on a daily basis, stock greater than prior day high, heavy volume yesterday, excellent option liquidity. This wasn't a list of 500 stocks I had to knock through. It took me probably 15 minutes with technical commentary. Very easy to find these. I've also had a lot of questions recently about, Pete, how can I set up searches to find specific patterns to trade? I don't like to look for patterns. Like to look for characteristics. I like to look for variables that define the stock. Once I have my list of stocks like this, then I can go through and visually find those characteristics like those bullish flag formations that I was describing earlier. But I want heavy volume, I want relative strength, I want technical breakouts through resistance. Any of those indicators are going to lead me to the best candidates, and then I can visually identify those attractive stock patterns that I'm looking for. When you run searches that look for a particular pattern, oftentimes you're being too restrictive because the stock has to conform to that pattern exactly, or it won't be in your results. So I prefer to look for all of those desirable variables. It could be momentum, it could be trend line breakouts, it could be Heikin-Ashi patterns, reversals, continuations. Those are the types of things, compressions, that I first want to look for. Then I name the searches so that I know what that search is looking for specifically, and then I describe the characteristics. So in any different market condition that I might be faced with, I've got a different set of searches that I'm using, and I know exactly what that search is looking for. And then I just start flipping charts just like I did right now. So let me leave you with a couple of good longs that I like. I really like this one, AEHR. Could have had better volume in here. That's the only thing that I don't like. Let's take a look at the intraday price action just to see how choppy it is. Kind of a choppy mover, but I do like the fact that it is breaking out. Here's another one. Mind you, the market was down yesterday. These are nice, strong candles in here, and the stock was able to finish well. ATER looks good. AUPH, that's going to get my vote. I think that's one that you want to watch today. You've got very nice, tight pattern. Lots of buying, 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 buying in here. Let's put up that SPY overlay so you can see how that plays out. This is just a beautiful setup. My gosh, if you are a day trader, this is gold. You see the S&P 500, ka-chunk, 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 down. What's this stock doing? There's your prior day's high. It's compressing right at the prior day's high. As soon as you get that little green dot right there, see ya. Stock ran up from $20 to about $21.30. That's over a 5% move in a matter of an hour. But this is a fantastic setup. So you get this sell off here, then you can be running your M5 compression searches right in here, looking for a stock that's above the prior day's high. In fact, let's do it just for the heck of it. This stock is not going to show up in this search because it's out of the compression, but let's do a compression in on a, now let's do a 15-minute basis. Heavy volume yesterday, good option liquidity, stock greater than prior day's high. And let's see what we get. This should show us some stocks that we're compressing. And I'm going to move this off screen to make it a little bit easier for us. So what would you do with this? You'd go into the daily chart, take a look at that. Oh yeah, that's nice. So then you'd come in here today and you'd go, hey, there's a nice little downward sloping trend line right here. Why don't I drop a GTC alert? Because if that trend line is breached, I want to know about it because this stock could be ready to take off. I'm just going to go through one more here. We'll take a look at it. Here you've got a nice compression right in here. Let's take a look at that daily chart very quickly. I'm not crazy about this because of the weakness. This is a nice bullish engulf, almost a bullish engulfing candle. But again, back to the point of patterns, if I'm looking for bullish engulfing patterns, this would be excluded because it's not perfect. But it still could be fairly strong. Going to the M5 chart, GTC. Yeah, if it gets above that horizontal resistance line, I'm interested in it. Let's see if we can find one more in here. Just want to show you examples of how you conduct your research and the types of things that you'll be looking for. We'll take this SPY chart off here. We'll go into the D1. And first I'm going to make sure that I've got, well, DOCN was one that I had mentioned earlier. I do like this stock also. Nice breakout there, bullish flag there, excellent volume. Going to the M5, really nice here. Take your GTC, click that candle there, click that candle there. I've got my downward sloping trend line. This stock goes above it. I'm going to want to know about it. Decent volume on the close, able to hold most of the gains. Yes, this is going to set up well. Final one, FSLR, because I mentioned that also. Look at that strength into the close. Let's put up the 10 SI indicator, which is another way to look at relative strength. And there you can see orange line above zero the entire day. Super, super strong. FSLR. Click GTC. Click that. I'm going to know if the stock takes out the high from yesterday. That is a really nice daily chart that I showed you earlier as well. That's how we find the searches. Look for those very, very strong characteristics. Flip charts, visually confirm the technical patterns that you like. Watch it for those day trading opportunities intraday. So what I'm watching for intraday, I'm not going to chase this opening gap higher. I'm going to wait to see what happens because I don't want to come rushing in. Oh my gosh, it's Monday. The market's opening higher. I knew this was going to be a buying opportunity. I'm going to come in and buy everything that I liked on Friday because it sold off hard. And so you buy in here on all these nice fluffy stocks that are running higher, and then you get your head handed to you. And right about in here, you're going, oh no, not again. Be patient. Wait for your trades to set up. Sometimes you might have to wait the entire day to get a double bottom, higher low, and a nice bullish cross that sets up a fantastic trade. You get long in here, your whole day could be defined by the last hour of trading yesterday if you were a long only trader. Thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I'm Pete Stolzers and I'm going to keep the trade ideas coming along with lots of education, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and please turn on your notifications so that you never miss another trade. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. I've loaded 2 other videos that I think you're really going to enjoy. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.